everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. This is my wrap-up video for April the 4th. So yeah, it's been a very busy week. The weather warmed up and I spent a lot of time outside. I've done like lots and lots of hiking and walking, and heard the spring peepers. Lots of crocuses are coming up, lots of lovely little flowers. And what else is happening? Yeah, seeds are coming up. We've got all sorts of things starting to sprout, so I'm excited about that. Tomato plants, pepper plants. I've got some herbs and some broccoli, and all sorts of things are starting to pop up in the greenhouse. So anyhow, let me jump into what I got done this week, because I actually got quite a bit done. So if you've been following me over the last week or two, you know I've been working on the Poison Garden journals, but also this one was a surprise finish because it's my design team journal for Release the Craftin'. It is the Raven, so it's kind of Edgar Allan Poe themed. If you're interested in seeing a full flip through, I do have a video here on my channel that you can check out, but I just wanted to show it off for a minute here. It's going to be going up in the shop probably by the end of this weekend, so by the end of today, if you're seeing this video, hopefully I will have that done. All these journals are going to be going up in my shop. Let me just move this little, there we go. Okay, so that's that. Then I have the poison journals, of course, the Poison Garden journals, rather. Not just random poison journals, but these are the Poison Garden journals. So these are inspired by Almwood Gardens. And if you want to know more about them, I recommend you watch the video first about the Poison Trail. That's where I talk about the history of Almwood Garden and why it inspires me. And Wicked Lovely also. They will both be available in the shop, hopefully by the end of today, if I get time to do my listing. If not, I'll work on that tomorrow, but probably by end of day today. So those are finished journals. So now I'll share with you what I'm going to start working on. I'm really excited about it. The next journal. So The Furniture Doctor. This book, this is the cover, is from a thrift store, and it's a cool book. It's basically about like all sorts of different things to do with old furniture. So acquiring it, restoring it, repairing, all sorts of different things, finishes, decorating, aging, all that kind of stuff. So regardless of all that info though, I love this little book. I love this little embossed rocking chair. I think it's so cute. And inside it's got this cool like end papers. So these are kind of neat. They talk about different styles of furniture, how to understand them. So that'll probably stay in the book. And it's in back and front, which is great. So I can use the, I can use this and this as the end papers and then still have these and they're the same. So that's great. So this book is from, it's actually got the signature. Is that, no, it's not the, or that's not the writer, I don't think. No, it's just got a random signature. So it's from 1962 by George Groats. So my plan for it is to make kind of like a furniture themed kind of journal, but I want to make it really fun. So I have this large, great big book, the Furniture of Old Ontario. So it's so big it barely fits in the screen here, but it is filled with lots of cool pictures. So, so imagine things like, you know, a pocket or a journal card made of this fussy cut out. And maybe we would have like something popping out, you know, from behind it, like a Victorian woman or a bunny or who knows, whatever inspires me at the moment. As well as like just some kind of traditional, nice, like, you know, journal cards and pockets and things. So I really want to have fun with this. I'm excited to start it. I think this book's going to be very inspiring, and it's a huge book from my stash, so I'm pretty happy to be finally using some of it up. It has a lot of cool photos of like how furniture has you know, been in our lives throughout history, and just different people who influenced furniture in Ontario. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'm excited to get started on it, and that will be what I work on. I'll probably do like a video or two over the coming week about it. I started working on some stuff this morning. I wanted to do a Tinker Lab challenge. I was trying to finish up one or two of them for April at least, because I missed a lot in March. So where is my pen? Because I actually did one. I actually finished one. We can celebrate that. So I finished number 1. Circles. I need to work on these ones: white on black, draw to music, which sounds really fun, and aluminum foil. So those are art challenge prompts that you can find on Tinker Lab, the Tinker Lab website. I believe it's tinkerlab.com. So let me move this out of the way so it doesn't distract us from what's going on. It's such a heavy book. Oh my gosh. So anyways, I worked on this. So for circles, I created, oh my goodness, a spider. I created 2 pockets, and this is them. And these are actually little circles that are punched out from a misprint of a kit that I had printed out of like words and stuff. But I thought the colors were really good for the furniture journal, and the size is good. So I'm going to use those actually as ephemera in the furniture journal. I also just was working away, and I took the offcuts of that. It's behind this pattern paper with blue lettering. It's been crazy quilted, and I thought that would just be a good flip out for this journal too. So that's kind of what we're planning so far, just some simple things. I might also find a way to use this piece of old magazine that I had used as part of another project, because I like this lady. Okay, so that's what's going to be coming up. Now let me show you something else. So the journal project I've been working on this week actually has been 2 travelers notebooks. I'm participating in a make along with Wishes and Weeds on her channel, where she's walking us through an ephemera stuffed traveler's journal. So I have 2 of them here. I think we are up to page 5. So we've got 4, 3, 2. So we've got like 4 more pages, I assume, and then a cover to make. Probably to have a 55-page traveler's notebook. So I'll do a quick little flippy through these. I've got my notes on here, just because I'll do an official kind of flip through of these after the challenge, once we're all done with it, and I'll kind of explain everything, but I'll just give you a quick visual of what's happening. These are getting chunky, so they're going to be really fun. So all sorts of fun things. There's some Edith Holden, yummy, lots of vintage ephemera that I'm using. I've actually been using up my hoard, my things that I just can't part with, personal things like that I don't want to put in a random journal that I want to keep for myself, and also ephemera that I've been making. So that's number 1. So the objective for these, sorry for that crash, the objective for these are, I'm going to use them on our 2 camping trips this summer, just to document what we get up to and maybe put some photos in them. And if I find some local places that we go, like maybe there'll be brochures for parks, or possibly you know, restaurants that we get takeout from, or any of the kind of safe stuff to do at a time like this. So that is the plan. So yeah, these are the prompts. So I'm happy to be taking part in another challenge. Another challenge I wanted to mention, but I can't take part in it, but it looks so cool. So if you have nothing to do for the month of April, if you're looking for something to take part in, I recommend checking out Carol Tinson, her YouTube channel. She's doing a project called Rock Your Journal, and it's kind of loosely based on the Wreck This Journal book, but it's kind of like a less reckless, more, you know, as she said, adult kind of version. Like, it's not, you know, throw your journal in a mud puddle like the Wreck This Journal. It's like really cool prompts, and she's doing 2 prompts a day, I think. So like she's doing a video every couple days because she doesn't have time to do a video every single day. But if you're looking for something to do, I recommend doing it because she is so creative. Like this week alone, I have like been checking her channel out, not for very long, and I've already seen like so many cool things, like her embossing and making ephemera out of toilet paper and paper towel, and it looks amazing. And also like doing cool pop-ups with like butterflies, and oh, she's just cool and I like her. So check out her channel. I'll link it below. I'll link most of the things I talk about here. Okay, so I think that's it for journal specific stuff right now. So I wanted to share, I do have another finish to share. You have seen this, if you've been looking at my wrap-up videos, you have seen this in its other forms of not being finished yet. But I finished my bird, my paper mache bird, as I was guided to make by the lovely Sarah Hand. She has a paper mache book that I definitely recommend. It is this book, Paper Mache, from the Art Makers series. Here, let me move it down a little so you can see it. And yeah, there are really fun projects in here, and it gives you an awful lot of information for beginners to make great projects like this out of paper mache. I really love this bird, and I have another idea in mind I want to get started on. I've actually still got some supplies here that I'm planning to build my next little project. How cute is she, right? I love her. And so, yeah, my daughter approves. She wanted to keep her, but I can't give her away yet. I want to enjoy her for a little bit. And my daughter's a little too young to play with this, I think, because of the these pokey wire feet. And also, I don't want her to get destroyed. I love her. So that is my bird. So yeah, pick up that book. It's so great. And Sarah's lovely. She's Sarah Hand Art and Wonder on Instagram. Okay, so what's next is some stitching and some randomness. Okay, I'm gonna just put my bucket here. Let's go through randomness first. So first thing I wanted to show you is some textiles that are really cool that I'm planning to scan maybe and offer as digitals in my shop if you're interested. So the first one, this is an absolutely incredible piece, and it's from a vintage like garment. This is how I got it. I don't know much more about it, but look at it. Isn't it beautiful? So I was thinking of scanning it and basically just like using this piece as a scanned image to be part of an ephemera pack. I love it, and I think it eventually might turn out to be like a journal cover for like a boho journal or something like that. Haven't decided. Also, look how messy the back is. I love that so much for all of those people who are, you know, pearl clutching about like, oh, all of your ends. Okay, this is like super old, and even back then people didn't care. So nothing against being that way. I'm only teasing, but yeah. These are my little weavings that I've been making. I make them in my spare time, sort of sitting on the couch. If I'm stuck under a kid sleeping on me or something, I make these little woven on my little, I have a little loom. I'm trying to, Chip and Sparrow is the company that I got my little loom from. I have tons of looms, but I like this little handheld kind of loom. You can see it's about a little bit taller than my hand. I'm guessing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches-ish by probably 4 inches. Are your weaving projects. These are great for beginners, but I was thinking, anyways, I'm selling this loom here, not sponsored. So I was thinking about using these on journal covers as well, but I was also thinking of scanning them and making them part of like a textile digital pack. So that is the plan. These would all be in one digital pack, I think. And I have a few more of them. So these are probably, they're sort of similar. I'm also like looking at them here going like, wouldn't they be all great all stitched together? Like I could make a cute like I don't know, a blanket or something. I don't know. I haven't decided, but that's happening. Then this is my own hand spun art yarn, and it's made in like a large kind of bow tie shape. It's a cowl pattern that's like a little bow tie. It kind of curves down here. So this I was also thinking about scanning because this yarn is just so fun with these lovely flowers, and I love like the stitching, and I love the yarn itself is really coiled. So yeah, and it's silk and merino wool. It's just so luscious. So I just I knit this up as a sample for people to look at when they're wondering how the yarn knits up, because a lot of people look at hand spun art yarn and they're like, what do I do with it? Anyway, so that's what you do with it. So again, we're just randomness here. So I got the coolest thing. So I was buying something domestic on Amazon, and I got this recommended to me, and it's like the Amazonians know me or something, but I couldn't say no. So it's this, it's fashion rulers for fashion illustration. These are so cool. Look at these. Can you see them on this background? Yeah, you can. Okay. So yeah, they are all, let me move this. They are all like kind of posed a little differently. I like this one. She's like kind of striking a pose. You just flip it over. So fashion ruler mini. How great are these for using as guiding, like guides or even tracing for fashion illustration and drawing? I am so happy about these. They're so cool. So that's one set that looks like that. Then they come in these nice like cases too, so like it's great. Then the other set is kind of like similar but different in that it's got all the pieces, like it's got one of the people, but not as like specifically detailed with eyes and all of that. And then it has a bunch of garments. So yeah, cool, right? So I was thinking about using these for all sorts of things, like from designing sewing patterns to if I were to design a sewing pattern, this would give me like a really easy way to make like a mock-up of the model for the pattern. So yeah, like these a lot. They're really cool. The paperwork you get with them is hilarious. Humanoid French curve template rulers. I thought it was so funny. I'm like, humanoid, sewing humanoid patterns. We're humanoids. So I don't know if these are like designed and delivered to Amazon from aliens. I'm not sure, but possible. But like, look how cool these are, like these illustrations, and they kind of give you a bit of a guide, like how to sort of use them and how to like different drawing methods of like collars and stuff like that. So very cool for fashion illustration. And I used to be completely obsessed with fashion illustration, like back when the internet was still kind of like not new but newer to me. I used to save like hundreds of fashion illustration pictures. I think because I was just hanging around a lot of people in the fashion kind of industry at that time. I just got really into it. So the next thing I want to share is another acquisition. Let me just hold it up because my lights, I still haven't set up my new lights. I'm bad. I'll get it done. I got this book, The A to Z of, or A to Z. It's not Z anymore. Did you know that? A to Z of Stump Work, the ultimate reference and design source for stump work embroiderers. So I've been like flirting with the idea of getting into stump work. And like I didn't even know it was called stump work, but you know, I've been stitching a long time on a lot of things, and I want to take it to a new level of sculptural and cool. Like you know, my background is in the arts, and like this is, I like stitching a lot. I really love the medium, but I want to take it to like a new level, of something else. So I think this will be helpful for me to kind of get me a little closer there. So that. Then here's something that I have planned for this week. Maybe we'll do a tutorial. I want to teach everyone how to do a Rorschach journal cover or art piece or paper for your journal, whatever. So this, I watched a video from, I believe her name is Amy Tran. I'll double check that. It's on Dick Blick's channel, or Blick Arts on YouTube. And she actually is very well known for using Rorschach techniques to create, pardon me, all sorts of different pieces of art. She works with like all sorts of like media, mixed media kind of stuff. She does these beautiful big paper lanterns and all sorts of neat things. So she did a little kind of make along with me on Blick Arts' channel, and I saw it and it got me thinking about like, oh cool, like, you know, in terms of like using it for like a book cover or like just in journals in general, because it's so beautiful. So I will probably do a video on how to make these. If you're interested in following along, I used watercolor paper because you need to get your paper wet before we proceed further. So you want something that can maintain water. You can also use pre-primed canvas paper. That's what she uses, and they're amazing. Like Blick Art sell them if you're in the US, very easy to get. So yeah, you'll need that. You'll need acrylic paint, alcohol ink if you have it, or acrylic ink also will work. Posca pens, if you have them, they are such a game changer. You know, I didn't invest in Posca pens until recently, at the encouragement of Sarah Hand, because they're so great for making like fine details. It gives you so much more control to just be able to draw acrylic onto something rather than, you know, having to paintbrush it in. So especially for circles and things, it's really good. Or you could get even a little more creative, like you could use tempera paint, you could use oil paint, but it's kind of a waste. So I'd recommend also like any inks, things that bleed and stuff are kind of cool. And then just, you know, obviously like your acrylic paint, which is what I used. I used Posca pens, acrylic paint in squeeze bottles, alcohol ink, and Posca pens to create this. So maybe we'll do that this week. Okay, so next is something I did, I think on Thursday of this week. I did a bunch of eco printing. So as you know, if you follow me or you know me in real life, one of my safe places that I have been walking over the last year with my kids, because there's no people, it's fenced, and it's a great nature experience, is graveyards. So I am the leader of the Addams family in my area, and I go to all the local graveyards. And one of the cool things about a couple of the graveyards I go to, don't be afraid, is compost. Flower compost. So basically, once the flowers don't look so pretty anymore, on a weekly basis, one of the graveyards that I go to just has a really good groundskeeper who's like very into repairing things and putting things away. But the other one is run by an arborist society. Like they handle the grounds and the groundskeeping. They work with the graveyard. So yeah, I can get a lot of beautiful flowers that have been brought to graves and then expired, and they go to the compost. So I scoop them up because they're just garbage. It's no disrespect to anyone, right? It's like, I just don't want to waste them. Why waste them? So the other thing that I do when I do my botanical printing, eco printing, I use watercolor paper and iron. And years ago at an antique, an outdoor like antique flea market that I frequently go to in the summertime, I got all of these cogs and wheels and things. They're all machine parts for old machinery and a great big nail and just different rusty things, because introducing iron to your dye bath or your water bath, actually, because you're not using dyes with eco printing, you're just using the color from the plants, it gives you beautiful tones. All this dark tone in the background here is caused by the iron. It carries through the whole bundle, and we call this a boiled book, where you layer your flowers between your paper. And you can fold your papers, you can tie them closed, you get really good imprints the tighter and more compressed it is. I did an experiment of not doing like my typical boiled book where I fold all my papers usually in fourths and I tie it all together. This time I just laid the watercolor papers, like a big sandwich with flowers in between, and I put all my iron bits on top to hold it down as a weight. You could also use a brick or anything heavy that can handle like coming to a boil real quick and simmering. So this is the top page where all of those amazing cogs and wheels were. I have scanned these. I'm thinking I'm probably going to do like an eco print digital kit. So this is the next one. We've got this amazing big flower here and some ferns. Ferns print amazing. I'm trying to remember the name of this flower. Oh goodness. I forget what it's called. This is so funny. Like I see these all the time. I know the name. It's on the tip of my brain, but they're large. You can get them in all different colors. They have a very big seedy middle. Oh, that's terrible. I can't remember, but there's the back side. So I'll just show you. These were actually some dyed stems of these little tiny leafy seedy kind of flowers that I don't know exactly what they were, but they added some nice red there. That is not eco, it's completely dye. Now this page, this is one side of it. So in the middle of my bundle, I actually laid down, you might be able to see a circle here with some iron. So that was a flat, large, rusty bit, like it's a piece of a machine. And all of this was just leaves, different green leaves and some rose petals. And then this was like, this is the center of a flower. I forget which flower it was now, but it came out really nice. Then this is the next page. This is the page it was sitting directly on. The last page I showed you was sitting on top. So we've got really that nice outline of that that whole cog. And then next page is very marbled and has more of those pink stems on them. And then these had some, these were little purple flowers that I don't know, I'm not sure what they were, but they were very dry when I got them. Like they had kept their color, but they had dried. And then some rose petals. These are rose petals, and this is another one of those flowers. Oh, it's not a geranium. It's not a, I feel like it starts with a J. It has a very simple name. It's going to drive me cuckoo. These are hydrangea. They gave kind of a nice green tone, and you see the stem and the little flowers. They were blue hydrangeas. Same. Not exactly sure. Something, oh wait, this is a leaf, and it had a very discernible yellow tint to it. And this has lots of like, this is very like, feels like raku. These were little yellow flower petals. And then there's like blues and pinks and purples and black, all sorts of things happening here, just with different random leaves and stuff. And it sat on, you'll see the marking from my cooling rack. I set them all on top of a cooling rack so that when you go to lift them out of the water, you don't rip your papers. Then this is another of these mysterious flowers that I can't remember the name of, and a long stem of fern, hydrangea. Nice leaf there. More of those pink stems and some nice, that I think was actually a piece of like a very succulent feeling plant. I don't know what it was, but it felt like a succulent and that it had some stored water. These are rose petals and one of those pink stems. And then you'll see I got the nice dots from the, one of my racks that I put these in the oven after they were wet, and I took the whole cooling rack, put it on top of a large rack with holes in it, and put it in my oven a little bit to 200 degrees just for about 15 to 20 minutes to dry it out a little bit. It's kind of like kiln drying, but like gentle. And this is more hydrangea, and there's a leftover little leaf, our flower again. Another of those flowers, more hydrangea. So pretty. That's those pink stems again. That side's very nice with those little purple flowers, rose petals, dots. That was another flower. It was like a peony, I think. But yeah, that is my eco printing for the week, or my eco dyeing. Then other things. So, oh, some, well, I'll keep that till last. So other things that I acquired. So I found this actually in my, so I have a library upstairs, and I have these like old cabinets that I just have kind of random things in, including old like recipe and plant cards. And I wanted some of them for the project with, can you see this doll over here? Okay. Let me get to her. Oh my gosh. So anyways, this came out of like my stash cabinet of like old kind of random things. And because I've been using some vintage ephemera in these traveler's notebooks, I came across this beautiful old Weldon's Ladies Journal. 1936, May 1936. So I just wanted to share it with you. Like, how beautiful. The bride ends stockings run. What? This is terrible typography. Bride ends stocking runs and wins bet. Like, what like order are these words supposed to be in? I don't understand. But look at this. So beautiful. A corsetry ad, like a cigarette ad. Oh, cedar wax cream. That's cool. Lost Harlequin. But yeah, lots of cool like stories and images from 1936. Queen Mary. All these little kitties. More cigarettes. Oh, Lord. What claims are they making? Your throat protection against irritation, against cough. Cansita's cigarettes. Yikes. Juliet, a mannequin. But yeah, really fun. Poor puppy, says Lady Kitty Ritson. Cute. Drink milk daily to have skin like milk. Just arrived. Baby's first day. He'll be walking in no time now. This is when cribs were like super dangerous, and they had one of those wire and wooden bead counter things on the side. Fun times. But anyways, cool, right? 1936. Old recipe. Steamed meat mold. I was going to say, I bet you this is going to be like a gross jelly pudding. It's a steamed meat mold served with parsley sauce. It's sure to be popular. Ugh. I don't know. People like eating, I don't know what people are doing eating food back then. Oh my gosh, how cute is this? Look at this bird and these little raspberries with faces. Roundtree's table jellies. I love this so much. Beautiful. Anyways, so that, I got that. This. So if you know me in real life, or maybe if you've been following me online for a while, you know that I have this affinity, this love for creepy dolls and weird things. So together, I brought these two loves together and I found this week on Facebook Marketplace, and I met up with somebody and purchased it. And it is a weird handbag. I don't know who made it. It says this on the bottom. I have no idea if the girl I bought it from made it. I don't know. It is really cool. Inside it has like, it says cow leather, pig leather, made in Japan. And it says octopus-me. And it has this orange label that says octopus-me. Octopus-me. I don't know. I just like it. I think it's weird, and I like weird things, and this fits the bill. So if you're scared, don't worry. I'm getting it off camera in just a second, but I have to show you one little thing. It's got this tiny little baby arm. It's so cute. and that says octopus-me. I haven't looked up octopus-me yet. I don't know, but I love it. It's been broken and glued. She told me that in the posting, and I was like, it's okay. I like it. I like it more because of that. Okay, so now we're going to get to stitching. Now that I've thoroughly terrified you, stitching. Let me get our friend out of here for a minute. Okay, so let's start with this first. It's quicker. So this is the week 13 of Anne Brooks 52 Tags Handmade Challenge. I haven't started this week, but I have my bag here with my stuff in it to probably get started soon. It's going to be a fun one, but this one was about layers. So she used golden, like gold colors in her. So I got started with gold too. And then I just started stitching things in layers, and I had a whole idea for how I wanted this to be. And then I absolutely hated it. And so literally, I just kept adding layers until I loved it, and now I do love it. I put French knots in the center of these little flowers. See this fabric? So one thing that I'm not sharing here right now is that I finished a dress for myself, a t-shirt dress out of this fabric, and it's pretty. So I used a little bit here just as like a little memento to what happened, and I made a dress. I need to take a little snippet of the fabric and put it in my journal for this week so I remember that I did that. Yeah, so that tag is done. Done and done. Next, I'll share with you, I've been picking up some old projects again. And if you're a knitter, you probably know of Tiny Owl Knits. Well, this is her pattern for a little stuffed hexapuff that's part of a larger project called the Beekeeper's Quilt, which is, it's a puffy hexagon. You attach all these together and you make a blanket. So I finished 3 hexagons this week. They will go into my stash of hexagons. And once they get attached, they look like this. So imagine this is my brown. So let me tell you, I've been working on this project, I think I don't know how old the pattern is, possibly 10 years old at this point. I don't know for sure. Maybe not that long. I don't know. But I had this in mind as a long-term project, which it certainly has been. This is like a spare time kind of thing. I can knit these in my sleep, and I love them. Some of them, they're stuffed, and some of them have little, all of them have at least one little fleck of lavender inside. So the whole thing smells nice. My plan is I need 1,200 of these to make a king-sized puffy throw for my bed that only I can lie on. No one else is allowed to ever touch it or go near it. So hold on, I'll show you. They're in this blue bag. I've just got them. I keep them inside a blue bag. And then inside a big giant, oh, it smells like lavender. A big giant crate thing. So let me show you. My plan, I want to do a blanket that is like the rainbow. So what's the word, like an ombre of the whole rainbow. So going from, this camera is crooked, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, pink, gray, brown, white, black. So I want all the colors represented here. And what I've started to do now that I have like over 600 of these babies is I've started connecting them in strands of colors, so that like I've just been using loads of yarns. I've been doing these little buddies, little putting little things on them and over stitching, and here's a gnome, just cute as a button, all these little guys. So I've been making these for so long. Oh, look at this strawberry. Hold on. Strawberry. I just have been trying to figure out what I have, like in each color, right? So that, like, because I've just been knitting and knitting with all random yarns for a million years. Here's a bee. And I need to start to, like, actually mindfully, I'm still going, guys. Here's the blues. I need to mindfully start managing what colors I'm using, so I can actually one day soon. Here's the browns. This one has a flower. This one was made for me by my friend Velma. And yeah, I've done some swaps to acquire more of these. I was gifted some. I even purchased a few from a friend who gave up on the project. Oh, look, this one. I did this one really early in this project. It's a raccoon. So cute. So yeah, that's all of them. And they are wonderful. The whole pile smells like lavender, and I just want to take a nap now, but I got to put these all back. So that's what I've been working on. I've kind of felt a little refreshed by I don't know, springtime, and so I'm like, I need to work on these again and get this done. So I think I'm about like halfway there, maybe a little more, because I laid them all down on my bed one day, and I was like, I might be a little closer than I thought I was to finishing this, because like I just want it to be kind of an overlay on the top of my bed. That one's not complete yet, so we're not going to put it away. Is this the one? Yeah, it is. Okay, because there's a certain number that you need to put in every line, like 32 or something, to have the length that I need. But yeah, I don't want it to drape over my bed. I just want it to like lay on top. So if this is my bed, you know, say my bed's this long, I want it to lay like this. I don't want any draping over the edge. I just want it to lay on top. But yeah, that's that project. Okay. Now we're going to move into the floss tube segment of my wrap up. What I've been up to. So I had a semi-disaster. I'm not going to whine too much about it, but you know how something you intend to do where you're like, I'm not going to look at a pattern. This is like logical. I can do this. I had this idea because my this big hoop didn't fit in this commercially produced dollar store alpaca bag that I've been keeping it in. And a couple of weeks ago, a pair of my scissors that was in here went missing. I still haven't found them, and I live in fear every day that my child has found them. I don't know where they are. They've got to be underneath the big heavy couch that I need to probably move to find. I've scoured everything. I can't find them, and she just neglects any knowledge. She's like, I haven't seen them, Mom. Nope, haven't seen them. So we'll see. Anyways, I also lost my blue tracing pencil this week, and I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm stitching a beautiful, like, quilted on the back bag with a nice, like what is it, like a rim around the edge of the front, and then I'm going to put a vinyl window in the front so I can see what's inside. Can I tell you, that project went the way of like the demons. I don't know, like something overcame my ability to sew properly, and this is what's left of my attempt at making a bag. So there's fabric and stuffing and thread and vinyl, and it's just this strip now because I didn't want to waste all of this. I gave up. Something terrible went wrong. I don't know. I just was like, so first of all, my sewing machine hates the vinyl. I didn't change the needle. I kept a universal needle. I was just going rogue. I don't know why. I was like, I can do this. Boom, boom. Nope. So one tip that I learned, you know, there's a right way to sew vinyl. I don't typically sew leathers, vinyls, plastics, things like that. I have, but not a lot. But if you're trying to sew vinyl, one thing I can recommend that like allowed it to go through my machine a lot easier is like line each side with fabric. So I think if I were to try to do this again, I would need I need a piece of fabric that has a nice hem already completed like this. Then that's what I would be stitching my vinyl in between, so it would wrap it, and my sewing machine would be sewing like your feed dogs would be on the bottom, your needle would be on top, both would be in contact with fabric, not vinyl, and then you'd have your window. But I have to literally look up a technique on YouTube or a pattern or somebody who knows more than me when I'm just like in a hurry. I thought this project would take me 10 minutes. It took me like an hour and a half, and it did not go how I expected. None of it did, in fact. But what I'm left with is like a solution, and a solution I will accept. So I had this bag already after the debacle. I'm like, I'm just gonna add to the bottom of it. And in pure brutalist style, this looks really ugly. I know. I cut the bottom of the bag. I made this little pocket, like, that was the same-ish size, and I stitched around, and I'm like, I just extended it. It's an extend-a-bag. And it, most importantly, fits my stitch wheel, and that's what's in here. So, long-winded story. Also, I got nothing done hardly on my stitch wheel, except for the little acorns here with the flat lay stitch. That's all I did on this, because I worked on a bunch of other stuff. So I've been thinking about, like, you know, I know that, like, in the floss tube community, people do things a little different ways. Like, you know, some person will work on a specific project each Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. They have all these starts and things, and they give it a day. Other people do, like, one thread at a time. They'll, like, finish, like, one thread or one color at a time. I don't know. I don't have any plans to do any of that, really. I'm kind of like, I'll work on whatever happens. I don't know. We'll see. It all gets done eventually. I'm not in a big rush. So, that being said, what I did work on is my frosted pumpkin stitchery Halloween town. So what I finished this week is all this black work, the bakery, this is actually like a little star in the sky in black. I think I finished like her face and hair too. And I finished the beginning of this bird. It's not finished, but it started the bird anyways. So yeah, that's coming along and I really enjoyed it. I love doing the black work on things. I hate working with the light colors. I love working with the dark colors on these. Then the other thing that I'll be starting soon, as soon as my yarn gets here from Knit Picks, I ordered, so I'm going to make this blanket. This is knitting now. We're going all over the place. I don't follow many rules here. So this is the Persian Dreams blanket, and I don't remember who I saw making this. It was on a flosstube channel, but like, you totally convinced me I need this pattern, and I do. So I got the pattern. I can't show it to you because it's a paid pattern, but the blanket itself is gorgeous. Let me just bring it up here. Where's the camera? Right there. So this is by Janice Hope. It's available on Knit Picks, on Ravelry. It's Persian Dreams, and it is a series of different hexagonal, apparently I live in a hexagon world, hexagonal themed charts. There I think are like 6 or 7 or 8, I can't remember, but like there's sort of like 3 or 4 different options, 3 options, different colors, whatever. You can also, and the whole reason that I got this, there's 2. One, it's fingering weight yarn, so I can use up a bunch of my sock yarn, variegated sock yarn stash. And what I ordered from Knit Picks is just the background color, and I've chosen heathered gray to be my background color because rainbow and gray, that is my jam. I love that together. So I'm going to be choosing some bright, beautiful, hand-dyed, lovely yarns to make that from, and it's going to be, I'm calling it on Ravelry, my project. If you are on Ravelry, you can find me. I'm Studioloo. I'm calling it like my prisoner's blanket, and I'm calling it that because I'm often in a child prison with a kid sleeping on me at many times a day. So yeah, that happened. And then I had this whole idea, okay, and I'm using another one of these plastic pouches from the dollar store that holds on to my 8-inch hoop. So yay. So this is about, like, this is a project I started with this idea in mind. Like, again, thinking about stump work, wanting to take embroidery to a new level, like in a lot of ways. I'm thinking about, like, how can I attach things? How can I just build, you know, on top of an embroidery hoop in a lot of different ways with stitching and all sorts of things. So I'm going to start experimenting with that, with different concepts. And I have like about 1 million ideas floating around in my head. And it got me thinking, this is like my little, not really advice, but kind of rant about, like, being who you are and acceptance and just doing whatever you want, and don't let people freak you out and get you down, especially on YouTube or any other social media, because it's like the system is not designed to make you like successful or happy. Like, you've got to do that yourself, right? So I often see like people that I really like and I follow, and I really appreciate how cool they are, and like they're doing things that are cool and that I admire, and they're unique or what have you. And I see them kind of like getting bashed by like either other people, or just like they get stuck in kind of like a walled-in silence bubble. Like they're trying to join a community, like say the journaling community or the flosstube community or whatever it is on YouTube or any other social media for that matter. And like nobody really embraces them or responds or like says, yeah, join us or whatever. There's no invite. It turns into like how you felt, you know, maybe in elementary school being the last kid chosen for a baseball team or something, right? Like that yucky, like no matter what I do, no one seems to really reach out. And that can be very crippling. And my advice is like, don't take it seriously, because I think most people have no clue that they're even leaving you out. Or if they do, it's because they're flying high on something relating to their own ego and their own life or whatever. And you're probably not going to ever change that about them. So there's no point. Do whatever you want to do. So and have fun with it. Keep in mind, a lot of like what people are doing, it's not even their own original ideas. They're just choosing patterns and making something designed by someone else that will be made by hundreds or thousands of other people. You know, it's just a hobby. It's just a process. So don't let it like affect your individual personality or creativity, because in itself, it's not really individual or that creative. It's just, you know, no disrespect though. Like, I love independent design in all formats. I buy, as you see, knitting patterns, crochet patterns, cross stitch. I buy digitals for journals. Like that is like how the world works, is, you know, artists, designers, support those people and love on them. But if they don't love on you, if certain people just aren't like inviting you in, just bust your way in, do your own thing. That's what I'm saying. Because I watched a couple videos that made me sad this week about people who are just kind of like, I'm trying to be a part of this and I'm not getting, you know, and there's, yeah, and it's in like 2 or 3 different communities. And one is in the toy collecting community. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, we're just collecting toys here. Anyways, if you watched my thrift haul from like a few weeks ago in my recycling center, you'll see that I got all of this Penelope crewel wool from Briggs & Co. Limited, made in Great Britain, 100% pure wool. So I'm getting weird with stitching here. I don't even know where this is going. So I grabbed this random scrap of like, it's like a really velvety soft canvas material. It feels like it could be part of the most luxurious tent you've ever slept in, because this side is really soft and this side is canvas. And it's great for stitching on, durable, awesome. And I wanted to do some stitching on a dark background for once. I haven't really done a lot on dark backgrounds. I really want to stitch dandelions on dark background. I've got to make that a part of my life at some point. But what I've done, I took my sewing machine. Well, first I traced a circle because I needed to know the size of my hoop so that everything I put in here is contained in that border. Then I stitched on some scraps of this in random different lengths, because the concept is I'm using it as stuffing. I want it to be trapped under here. Oh, hold on. Where's my inspiration for this? All right, I'm going to freak you out again. Ready? This is my inspiration for this. This is a piece of birch log. And I was thinking about how fungi, like these buddies over here, how fungus grows on birch in layers, and it protrudes forward. It does all of these fun seashell type things. Look how cool that is. Yeah, like fun seashell type fungus, right? So I've had this piece of birch log. It was cut from my family's property. We were trimming back trees, and I have a whole bunch of them. I make all sorts of stuff out of them, but this one was just sitting in my side yard. I dropped it there one day and I left it, and it's just developed all this fun fungus. So that's where it's going to be going back to now that I've shown it to you. But it got me thinking about like the way that the relief comes out of, you know, something like a fungus, right? So now I've got all these different colors that I'm stitching on here, kind of trying to mirror what that shape is. I don't know if you can see how far they stick out, but they're quite lumpy bumpy. They're not as big as the fungi gets. They don't protrude forward. That is a future kind of, that kind of thing is what I'm looking to do though, is just pop out, come out. So I'm getting a start, and I'm thinking also about how these remind me a little bit of the underside, the gills of a mushroom. So what if I were to black or white stitch above like the top of a mushroom and then a stem? So I have to see where this guides me. I don't know. I'm just doing my own thing here. No patterns, like do your own thing. So that is what I have been doing and working on. I think that's everything. Yeah, that's everything, I think. So yeah, I'm up to all sorts of stuff. And so yeah, I hope that my little, it's not a rant, it's just kind of like a, hey, I hear you, you know, message to the world. Like I'm a new YouTube channel. I've been in fine art since like, oh goodness, like a really long time. I've had Studioloo as a business since 2000. But before that, you know, I've always been an artist, and so that's my thing. And you know, it's kind of like ups and downs for me on YouTube. I feel like, you know, because it's really hard to build an audience and a channel these days. But like for me, I'm not really doing this for that necessarily. I'm kind of doing it for myself, to be honest, and just to leave my little mark on the world, maybe for my kids in the future to be like, hey, yeah, my mom had a YouTube channel back in the way back days, and who knows, right? It might be more important than I know. But yeah, it's hard in a world of like, you know, influencers and all of that stuff, because, you know, you could actually, there's a recipe to be an influencer. It's be very consumerist. If you do haul videos, if you buy a ton of fast fashion, whatever, I mean, you will grow fast because people are watching that kind of thing. I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, I watch a little bit of it, just certain personalities, people that I like, mostly in the thrifted world though. I think a lot of our principles are real mixed up right now, and they have been for a while, but stuff like that, like, you know, big channels that just regurgitate the same material again and again, but they have thousands of videos, they're going to get huge amounts of followers. And then other things just get pulled into the algorithm, like, hey, look at this new creator, and like that's the luck of the draw, the lottery winning kind of thing, right? So all of that said, what you're doing is still super cool, and some people will appreciate it, and like you'll find your niche. I think like I've kind of found mine. I mean, I haven't had any, I will say I've had two people specifically who've invested in me, their time, they're like, yeah, I want to be friends with you, I want to, like, you know, do things together, kind of like. I've had two people in the journaling community since I started reach out to me. So, you know, it is what it is, and I'm just gonna keep positive and cool. I don't take anything personally. I've got a whole life outside of here, like all of you do, you know, but I know sometimes like none of that matters. None of what you have in your life matters. It's like you're just trying to do a certain thing, and when it's not working, it really stinks. So I hear you. I see that. You're not alone. I've totally felt it too. And so, yeah, that's all I have to say for now. Thank you so much, though, for hanging out with me through all this stuff and weirdness and my blah, blah, blah about all sorts of things. And I should probably stop talking because we're approaching an hour. So I hope you have a really beautiful weekend. I hope your long weekend has been a lot of fun. You will see a shop update coming from me soon if I ever stop talking. And thanks again. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me a little comment. Say hello. I'd love to know you're out there. And I'll be back soon. So stay creative, guys. Thanks. Bye for now.